Does this make any massive changes right now?
In terms of just like viewership.
No, no, no. Rules, regulations, rosters, things like that.
I want to say yes, but I know that that's probably not the case. Oh, also, I did want to tack on one thing. So, I just pulled up to your point about PSG and like Messi's impact and how he said he was going to leave and then they lost a ton of followers. So, I pulled up Social Blade so I can track what Inter Miami's Instagram followers look like. Any
Nice.
guesses on how many followers they've gained today?
So I actually tweeted that out. Nobody's given me the starting number, but I think today, I think they're close to on all of them or just like Instagram or Twitter?
Just Instagram.
Instagram. I thought it was close to like 500, 600K.
Try 1.6 million followers today. Just today, 1.6 million followers gained.
The Messi impact, baby.
It's outrageous. That's insane.
Yeah.
Um, so yes, I think fan wise, he will absolutely have an impact. I think tons of more people are going to be interested in this league. Tons of more people are going to buy Apple TV subscriptions. I think attendance league wide is going to go up. This is going to get people in America interested. People in America don't know the sport, but they know who Messi is. And they're going to be like, oh, I know who that Messi guy is. Oh, he's coming to play in America. Oh, maybe I should like take a closer look into what this MLS is looking like. In terms of rule changes in the league, I mean, I would love to think that he creates some roster flexibility. Maybe he does. I don't think it's going to happen right now, though. I think it'll probably be a bit more time. But I would love for him to come in and they finally give teams a bit more money to spend on the entirety of the roster rather than just grabbing a couple top heavy players and then the rest of the team is just homegrowns.
My that comment that you had was exactly where I was going to go with this is we have talked about it for years now that the person that we're trying to get into this league is not the Euro snob who only watches Barcelona, Man City, and PSG. It's the person who is a kid playing soccer who knows the 4 or 5 big players that needs to now understand that there's stuff that you can watch here. Those people who are like, yeah, I know who Messi is, but I didn't know that I had a local team here are going to be like, their kids are going to be like, I want to watch Messi play. So they're going to get Apple TV. They're going to start watching it. I'm like, you know what? This isn't half bad. I can get behind this. And that's what's going to drive your support. We've talked about it on our MLS history series, right? The majority of fans are around because of one crazy game. So many people were in the Reddit mentions talking about their favorite thing, the thing that kept them around the longest was when David Beckham, who was being thrown out there like a king in his first year, was getting beat by the Chicago Fire. All the Fire fans were living for it. And that is what kept them around because everybody was talking Beckham, Beckham, Beckham. Well, they had Blanco, and Blanco was better than Beckham that day. And that gave them pride to say, yeah, you've got the big guy, but our team can do it too. That's what we're looking for. We're not looking for, oh man, everybody's going to be a Miami fan for 2 years and then bounce. We're looking for people like, oh, Messi's playing. Let me, oh, there's this team that's right, within an hour or two from me. Let me watch them play because again, I can almost promise you, 90% of Inter Miami games free this year. There's no shot that they're going to do any sort of paywall to keep him away from people. But that means that you're going to be able to watch your local team play one of the best players in the world. You watch that. First of all, they do really well. That's one thing. But you think about games like the LA Galaxy Red Bull game from 07, 08, when Red Bull beat Galaxy 5-4 and everybody's losing their minds with Beckham's first game in MLS, right? Something like that happens, instant fan retention. That's the stuff we're looking for. We're not looking for a massive influx of Inter Miami fans. We're looking for a massive influx of the people who are like, yeah, I know a little bit about soccer. I want to get behind something. Because at the end of the day, once Messi leaves, ticket prices go back to normal. Or even when Messi leaves, like your city, ticket prices go back to normal, which means you can now look at it and say, I can spend $400 to go to an MLB game, which has 4 hits a game, or I can spend it, half of that price, go to my MLS team and support that team. It makes it a viable option. if you are starting to watch and you need something to watch to get started. Messi is that something to me.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. I mean,
On
sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, go ahead, go ahead.
No. I don't have anything to say.
Oh no, I was gonna just finish up because I didn't really talk about the roster stuff. And what I was gonna say is I don't think we're accelerating it. Like I don't think we're gonna jump and instantly Messi came in. Now everybody can go spend whatever they want because that's how the NASL failed. Pele came in and everybody saw what Pele did. So they're like, okay, everybody go buy big name players. So they bought a bunch of people. The hype lasted for like a year, and then they were sitting on $10 million. That's an exaggeration, of course, but sitting on all this debt they couldn't pay off, and they just folded. So I don't think we're accelerating it out. However, we are giving ourselves a platform to not shy away from it when we're ready to make that decision. So if we can retain those fans long term and show that the investment is there, then we can be confident that the rule changes won't mean doom like the NASL was. We can be confident that if we jump it from, I think it's going to be 13 million roster spend to 25, that people aren't going to go lose their minds and put themselves in a ton of debt, right? So that's where I think this is going. I don't think it happens in 2 years. I think it happens in 4. So that's just where I went with that. Now, that being said, there's this rumor of Di Maria and Busquets getting here, and they've already got 2 designated players, well, 3 now with Messi, and they've lost all that gam and tam from the punishment from the roster problems. I don't see any way that happens. So maybe Messi is like, hey, let my friends come. And then Don Garber is like, yes, sir. And he just changes all the rules. I don't think it'll happen, but that's the only way I see that going.
I mean, I hope so, but I hope it's the real roster. And I don't want to dive too much into this, but the real roster changes that I would like to see is more depth to the roster rather than just we're going to open up more spots, more designated player spots, so you can bring in more top heavy players.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest one is that you're really looking at where you're spending it. Again, we won't dive super far into it, but if you can take the 13 mil plus whatever your DPs are and just say, hey, you got 25 mil, spend it wherever you want. Make a top 11 that's great with no subs. Make 18 really good players and 5 or 6 reserves, whatever you want to do, just go for it. That makes things a bit different.